Hello everybody. Today's video notes on C, collecting data, are about SI conversions, or, as the PowerPoint shows, SI prefixes. Because in order to go from one unit in SI to another unit, all we have to do is move a decimal point. We don't have to memorize numbers like 3 feet in a yard, 12 inches in a foot, and doing a bunch of conversions with numbers that we either have to look up or memorize. In SI, it's all about moving a decimal point left or right because everything is based on units of 10. So, here we go. First thing you need to know in order to understand SI conversions is you need to know some of the prefixes. Kilo, meaning 1,000, is abbreviated K. Hecto, meaning 100, is abbreviated H. Deca, which sometimes you will see spelled with a C, which means 10, like decade, is DA. Then we have the base units. The big three are meter, liter, and gram. It simply means 1, but there are lots more we can also use. Then we've got deci, like decimeter, or decimal point, which means 1/10. Here is a decimal, and here is a fraction. It's abbreviated D. Centi, like century, pennies are called cents. That means 100th, as in both ways, 100th. It's abbreviated C. And milli, like millennium, is 1,000th. It's abbreviated M. Well, we came up with a nice, easy way for everybody to know these prefixes, and it is a saying we came up with called King Hector's dad drinks chocolate milk. If you can remember King Hector's dad dash drinks chocolate milk, I always say it in like 3 words. King Hector's dad drinks chocolate milk. That's how we get these letters. King Hector's dad, base unit, drinks chocolate milk. I always leave a blank here just so we know that that's the base unit. It's still a unit that we need to move, but we just simply move the decimal point left and right. So I'll show you some examples so you can start preparing for tomorrow or the next day of class. Moving on, using these prefixes, you should be able to say, what if we put prefixes in front of the names of animals to tell how many there were? 100 ducks. Go back to here, think about it. What would we call 100 ducks? 100 ducks would be called a hectoduck. 10 cows is a deca-cow. A deci-cow, based on our system, is 1/10 of a cow. Now let's say we have 2 deca chickens. How many chickens do we have? We have, well, deca means 10. We got 2 deca, 2 times 10, we have 20 chickens. Now let's say we have 15 decigerbils. How many gerbils is that? Well, what does deci mean? It means 1/10. 1/10 times 15, we have 1.5 gerbils. So here we go. King Hector's dad drinks chocolate milk. KHDA-DCM. What we do in order to figure these out is we got to know what we start with. And remember that M, these things cannot stand alone. That M does not mean milli. That M means meter. So MM would mean millimeter. So this is going to be our bell work. We're going to work through the first 5. What we are doing here is, in the metric or SI system, it doesn't matter what we say, we could turn it into other things. For example, in the English system, 36 inches, 3 feet, 1 yard are all the same thing. Those are all the same measurement. But you got to remember numbers in order to go between them. In the metric or SI system, all you got to do is move decimal points one way or another. So in order to do, let's do these one at a time. So let me move to the next one. Here is number 1. Here's how you do this. And if you want to just wait and do these tomorrow as bell work, that's fine, but I'm going to work through the first 5. Here's what we do. We have King Hector's dad drinks chocolate milk right here. Here's what you always do. The base unit in these is meter. So cross out meter. We want to use the letters that are in front of M and the letter in front of M here. Well, what letter is in front of the M I just crossed out? There isn't. That's what this is. Many times when I draw this or put it on the board, I'll say King Hector's dad drinks chocolate milk. That's how I write it. I don't say base unit, I draw a line. Well, where are we starting? What do we know? We know 18 meters. There's not anything in front of this M, so we start right here. But where am I trying to go? I want to go to centimeters. I just moved 2 spots to the right. So if we move 2 to the right, and now we actually move this decimal point that is right behind the 8, even if it's not written, there's a decimal point right there. If we move it 2 to the right, it's still not 18. We got to put numbers in there that make it work. The number we can always add, regardless of where it is a 0. Our answer is 1,800. That means that 18 meters and 1,800 centimeters are the same thing. Next problem is 167 millimeters is how many meters? Well, we do it like we have done every problem. We will cross out the M. Well, what do we know? We know milli. But we are trying to figure out, oh, there's not a letter there, so we're going here. We're starting here, we're going here. 1, 2, 3. We are going to move this decimal point 3 to the left. 1, 2, 3. The answer is 0.167. You should put a 0 in front of it, but I'm not going to worry too much about it. Number 3 is 500 kilograms is how many grams? Once again, cross out the G's. We are starting at K. We are going to the base unit because there's nothing in front of the G. So we're going here. We move 1, 2, 3. If we move that decimal point 3 to the right, 500 becomes 500,000. Notice I don't put a comma. Commas are not good because in some societies they use commas instead of decimal points. So a comma right there would make it look like 500.000. So we should not use commas, we just will add a space. So you should not see commas frequently in my class. Next problem, let's work through. We are going to turn 23 decimeters into hectometers. So get rid of M, so we know we have the same kind of unit. We are going from deci to hecto. We're going here. So we move 1, 2, 3. If we move this decimal point 3 to the left, 1, 2, oh, we're out of numbers, 3, that means we put a 0 there. That means this answer is 0.023. Add a 0 out to make me happy, and those two quantities are now equal. 23 decimeters is the same as 0.023 hectometers. Notice as the unit gets bigger, the number gets smaller. If the unit gets smaller, the number should get bigger, because these things are equal to each other. We just need to show how they're equal to each other. And number 5, this is the last one, but should be enough for you to continue working and work on the homework, work on the bell work, or just wait to come to class tomorrow and we'll do all of it in class. What we're going to do here, once again, no comma, because to other societies that would look like a decimal point. Get rid of the L, get rid of the L. We are going from deci. We are trying to figure out deca. So we start here, 1, 2. We move the decimal point, 1, 2. 1,589 deciliters is the same as 15.89 deciliters. The unit got bigger, so the number got smaller. That's how this works. These are all the same quantities, but sometimes we've got to change the unit just to make a calculation work. Thank you very much. I will see you tomorrow.